A very, very good afternoon to each one of you. This is Preeti Suta, Vice Principal, Delhi Public School, Bangalore East, your host for this afternoon. On behalf of Mrs. Manila Carvalho, Chairperson, Bangalore Sahodaya School Complex, and the entire team at the Bangalore Sahodaya, I extend a very, very warm welcome to each one of you this afternoon.
Okay.
I'm absolutely delighted to introduce person of the day, Dr. Sujata Girish,
Okay.
founder principal, Daffodils Foundation of Learning, Daffodils Foundation for Learning. She is an academician with 21 years of teaching and administrative experience in schools with different academic curricula across the length and breadth of the country. She believes in activity-oriented and learner-centered approach. Her evaluation programs based on Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences theory have yielded great results. Value-based life skills curriculum is an arena close to her heart. She's also a trained CBSE resource person and has conducted various workshops in many schools on behalf of Center of Excellence, COE Chennai. She's published many papers as a part of her PhD course and has lots of awards to her credit for being an excellent educator from reputed organizations. She was also awarded the Best Actress Award at the state level. She has many feathers in her cap, definitely. So very, very warm welcome to you, Dr. Sujata Girish. And we are indeed very, very delighted to have you amidst us today. And I'm sure the audiences are just waiting to learn more about, awareness of multiple intelligences, not only for the learning process, but also for the teaching process. All of us as teachers also, I believe, have different intelligences that we make use of when we are planning our curriculum, when we're planning our, daily lesson plans with our.
I want to clarify which price this
I can request all participants to please be on mute.
Everything we can clarify later. You don't watch the recording. Please do not manipulate.
Can I request all participants to please?
We are round from 6 to 8 category. Third place goes to girls.
I request all participants to please remain on mute during the session. That will enable us to definitely, get the best out of the session. And with that, at the end of the session, we will be definitely taking queries from the participants. You can definitely put your queries into the chat box. And towards the end, we will also be putting up a feedback and attendance link. Request you all to please fill that before you leave the meeting. All the very best. I'm sure we're looking forward to a lovely session. And over to you, Dr. Sujata Girish.
Thank you, Preeti ma'am, for those kind words. I will definitely try to do my level best by sharing whatever experiences I have gathered using MI concept. I'll share my screen now. The slide is visible, right, ma'am?
Yes, it's visible.
So we shall begin. It's, I
yes,
think,
please
time.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. So greetings to all the educators. It's my pleasure to be a part of this session today. And I shall try my level best to explain whatever I have learned, whatever I have gathered over the last few years with respect to integration of multiple intelligences in various aspects of academic arena. I have a beautiful statement before me, which is a very good food for thought for us, the educators. which is quoted by Howard Gardner himself. The biggest mistake of past centuries in teaching has been to treat all students as if they were variants of the same individual and thus to feel justified in teaching them all the same subjects the same way.
Yeah, ma'am, just wanted to.
Not.
I'm sure many of you agree with this. I'm sure most of us agree with this. Yeah, I see, I admit there. I unquote. So we have been treating all the students of heterogeneous class alike, and we try to address them using the same strategies, same methodologies, which doesn't work most of the times. Let us know something about Dr. Howard Gardner. Howard L. Gardner is an American developmental psychologist, research professor of cognition and education at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, and he is best known for his theory of multiple intelligences. Let us understand what multiple intelligences is all about. According to Dr. Howard Gardner, human beings exhibit multiple intelligences. Human intelligences can be classified into 8 core forms of intelligences, and based on the specific abilities that human beings possess, their intelligence can be categorized under one of those core forms of intelligences. Now let us understand what are the different kinds of intelligences proposed by Dr. Howard Gardner. Verbal or linguistic intelligence, logical or mathematical intelligence, visual or spatial intelligence, bodily or kinesthetic intelligence, which plays a very significant role, especially in the school scenario, musical or rhythmic intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, which means to say within the self, interpersonal intelligence, which is interaction of one person with other people, and naturalist intelligence. Dear educators, it is a good idea to take a screenshot of this particular slide. The entire concept of MI is frozen in this particular slide. I will pause for a minute, probably a few seconds, so that in case some of you who are interested to take the screenshot may do so. So in the school scenario, it is a wonderful idea to integrate all these kinds of intelligence related activities so that every class, which is definitely a heterogeneous group of students, benefit to the maximum. Now, let me explain what each of these intelligence explain with respect to the skills. Linguistic intelligence, the students who are skilled with words can come under this category. The students who have bodily or kinesthetic intelligence, they're very good at their physical skills. They're very good at their movements, they're very good at their dancing skills, they're very good at their dramatic skills. And the third one, the musical intelligence, the children are skilled with melody and rhythm. Spatial intelligence, the children are skilled with pictures and images. We also call visual intelligence. Spatial intelligence is again a visual intelligence. Some children have an eye for all the detail. They're very good at observations. One odd day when teacher wears a matching bindi or matching lipstick or matching nail polish, they will be the first ones to come and tell, ma'am, you're looking very pretty. I like your nail polish or I like your lipstick. Yes, the children of these days, they don't hesitate to share such compliments. Interpersonal intelligence, the students have skills of social understanding. Intrapersonal intelligence, the students have skills of self-knowledge. They're very good at their self-awareness. Logical or mathematical intelligence, the children are skilled with numbers and reasoning. Naturalistic intelligence, the children are good with the skills of making connection with elements in nature. Now, let us understand how MI is integrated and for whom MI is important. Let me tell, MI integration is important in teaching and learning process and also for assessments. So let us not be under the presumption that MI is important only for teaching and learning process. It also plays a significant role in assessing the students' performance as well. And MI is important for teachers as well as students. Let us just read the slide. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb the tree. Sometimes when we have standardized assessments, this is what we are trying to do. Irrespective of their skills and abilities they're born with, we try to test them on the standard assessment, which definitely is not a good idea. It is as, of course, ridiculous is a little rude word, but this is what it is. We try to assess all the students based on the standard proforma, standard format, which definitely is not a good idea at all. Now, let us try to correlate multiple intelligences with NEP. When all of us have read the document of NEP, I'm sure you're all familiar with NEP by now. NEP strongly advocates competency-based education. Now, what is competency? Competency is basically skills which children are born with. And how do we allow competency education to be effective in the schools? It is by integrating multiple intelligences. It is by giving a scope for the child to hone his innate skills, innate intelligences, so that they can build up their competencies based on that. Art integrated learning is happening in a big way. We are all aware of it. This year, even our projects are AIL projects. We are pairing Karnataka with Uttarakhand. So even during these projects, it is a wonderful idea to integrate multiple intelligences. To talk about my own school, recently I was a part of the presentation of grade 10 students, and it was part of English department project. How beautifully the children integrated different intelligences. There was a child who was ready to sing. There was a child who was ready to enact. There was a child who was trying to tell a story. So different forms of intelligences were in a harmonious way blended, and they presented this project. It is a beautiful thing because the child doesn't feel it is a burden when we integrate multiple intelligences. And NEP is again recommending 360 degrees progress report. The pattern proposed is to encompass the holistic grooming of the child during the school period. Can we brush aside the multiple intelligences? Can we brush aside the intellectual part of the child, the intelligences which the child is blessed with? There again, it is a wonderful idea to assess a child based on the intelligences displayed by the child. So again, integration of MI is going to play a significant role in the way we design our report cards. NEP strongly advocates integrated pedagogy, innovative pedagogy. So when we say innovative pedagogy, we have come across the different kinds of intelligences. So it's a beautiful thought and idea to bring some of those activities and integrate them in our teaching strategies, in our pedagogy as well. Let me tell you, friends, as Preeti ma'am has informed earlier, I was into dramatics during my college days, and I'm a dancer. I'm a passionate dancer. So when I was teaching English for middle school children, I used to use a lot of hand gestures similar to mudras, to teach grammar, because teaching grammar can be monotonous for the teacher and students as well. So I used to bring in a lot of animation. I used to use my hand gestures, at times facial expressions, and it was amazing to see how the children could register. So definitely using MI as a pedagogy is a brilliant idea. Experiential learning again focuses on learning by experience. So definitely if you focus on the intelligence the child is blessed with, experiential learning and experiential teaching is going to be a huge success. Flexibility in assessments is another proposal by NEP. Again, I have shown a slide which says assessing different people on the same platform is not a good idea. So wherever possible, yes, descriptive assessment, there cannot be many variations. Wherever possible, it is a beautiful idea to integrate multiple intelligences as well. Now to share my own experiences in my school, even the worksheets what we develop has a scope for multiple intelligence based questions. And assessments again, some way in the internal assessment, we try to combine activities based on multiple intelligences. To quote an example, we had a CCA event by name Kala Sangam. There we had a provision of the child performing 3 items, 3 different kinds of activities based on their intelligences. We had given a wide array of 17 activities, which was proposed by CBSE when they introduced art integrated curriculum for us. We picked up the activities proposed by the CBSE and we shared it with the people, we shared it with the students and the parents, and we told them to pick up any 3 of those activities. It was amazing to see children coming up with yoga performance, ikebana, and then floral arrangement, rangoli. And I was like, wow, not bad. Even a grade 1 child can do so much more if we give them an opportunity to explore unknown arenas. So that is how multiple intelligences can be integrated in co-curricular activities as well. Again, going back to NEP says, let there not be a hard separation between academics, co-curricular activities and sports. So keeping that thought in mind, we brought in Kala Sangam and it was a tremendous success and parents and students received it very well. And very important, dear educators, definitely it facilitates the children with special needs. Now let us understand each of these intelligences in detail. Linguistic
Ma'am, you're muted.
Jata ma'am, you are muted.
Yes, I have unmuted myself, ma'am. Thanks
Thank
for
you so much.
reminding.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay. So linguistic intelligence is generally found in poets, copywriters, novelists, journalists, scriptwriters, orators, seminar presenters, politicians, editors, publicists, journalists, speech writers, and of course, lawyers need to have very good linguistic intelligence. Now, let us understand what are the traits of the students who exhibit linguistic intelligence? Generally, the students with linguistic intelligence like to read, write, and listen. We come across so many such students in our classrooms who are not so good in their numerical skills, but they always score very good marks in English or probably social studies as well. And people who are reluctant to buy hard things, they score very well in English because they're able to think by themselves, they're able to express by themselves because of this linguistic intelligence. They're good at spellings, they're sensitive to patterns, they like to play word games, they have a good memory for general knowledge, they're very orderly and systematic, they have ability to reason, they're good at public speaking, and they also debate, and that is their preferred choice. It could be either oral or written communication. Now, what are the activities we can integrate which facilitates the children with linguistic intelligence? First, I would like to focus on the lower classes. Making up stories and telling them is a good way of integrating MI, and allowing the children to build up stories and share. Again, build up stories is definitely not with respect to the complaint about the peers. Make stories on their own. Give them a storyline and ask them to build up the story. That is a wonderful way of honing their linguistic skills. Then put together a family, school, or work magazine or newsletter is another good idea. Learn new words every day. Use a computer to write. Play vocabulary games and trails. Do puzzles and crosswords. These are some of the interesting activities which can be conducted for lower classes. And coming to the senior classes, some of the activities which will help children with linguistic intelligences are to arrange for debates about current events. In fact, virtual classrooms, that is one of the beautiful topics to conduct debate or discussions in the classrooms. Discuss life, their ambitions, their future thoughts, the universe, and interesting experiences. Read different kind of novel stories and jokes, and allow them to give book reviews, novel reviews. That is also a good idea. Write stories, jokes, write letters, emails to pen pals, write book reviews and product reviews. That is another activity. make advertisements on the given product. Children love to do that. They are very fond of aping all the latest stars coming on the television. That would be a brilliant idea. And in fact, this product review can be an integration of multiple intelligences activities because it caters to multiple activities and multiple intelligences as well. Keep a journal, write poems, interview friends, family, and mentors. Puzzles and crosswords definitely are a very good way of encouraging linguistic intelligence students. And then multiple intelligence based activities in languages specific to English or second language or third language. Compositions, it could be picture composition, it could be narrative composition, it could be discussion. Then setting tunes to poems and sing them in the classes. That's a brilliant idea. I still remember a teacher of my school who taught water cycle through a rhyme, through a sing song. And that was an amazing experience. I'm sure that batch of students will never forget about water cycle. Dramatization of the lessons. I'm sure most of us are doing this. Role play is a brilliant idea. And picture composition, as informed to you earlier, is again a brilliant idea. Now let us understand what are the traits of the students who exhibit logical or mathematical intelligence. These children are very smart with their numbers. They have got excellent numerical skills. They enjoy working with numbers. They easily interpret data and analyze abstract patterns. They demonstrate a very well-developed ability to reason. They're very good at chess and computer programming. They think always in terms of cause and effect because they're always trying to reason out. Now, some children are not very fond of attempting English papers or social studies papers because they're generally lengthy. They demand for lengthy answers, but they're very happy to attempt a mathematics paper. That is purely because of their affinity towards logical thinking and numbers, numerical skills. What kind of activities can be integrated for such students? Playing math games like chess, checkers, and Monopoly, searching for patterns in the classroom, school, outdoors, and home, conducting experiments to demonstrate science concepts, using math and science software which reinforces math skills and logic games, using science toolkits for science programs, designing alphabetic and numeric codes, and making up analogies. These are some of the activities which will help such students. Now, visual intelligence. These children are very good at observations and they're picture smart. They think and process information in pictures and images. I don't know how many of you have seen the movie Drishyam. I'm very fond of sharing anecdotes as storytelling. And again, NEP advocates storytelling as a pedagogy very, very strongly. In that particular movie, the protagonist of the Bollywood version is Ajay Devgan. He is not a highly educated person, but he's highly brilliant. How is that possible? He is picture smart. He is able to recall all the details. He's able to register all the details only by looking at a picture, and his memory of those pictures is so strong. The whole movie is all about his skills with respect to visual intelligence. So there are many children like that. For example, if you teach a concept as it is, they will find it very difficult to register in their mind. The same concept, you put it in the form of a flow chart or a mind map, the child finds it easy to understand and register. Friends, as an English teacher, I would coin formula to teach parts of speech. A square, V square, wink. Now I leave it to you to decode it. And the students of those batches who were taught by Sujata ma'am, even today when they're asked, okay, do you remember parts of speech? They say A square, P square, wink. So this is a way of making the child remember, right? It is easy for them to think and process information in pictures and images. They have excellent visual receptive skills and excellent fine motor skills. Generally, those who are good at visual skills are good at their fine motor skills as well. They use their eyes and hands to make artistic or creatively designed projects. They read maps and put together multiple numbers of pieces of jigsaw puzzles with ease. Some of us may find putting the jigsaw puzzles together very difficult, but these children who have keen eye for observation, they are very good at it. Now let us understand what are the activities which can be integrated in our classrooms to support these children. Taking photographs for assignments and classroom newsletters, we can allot such simple tasks for these students. School yearbook, school newsletter or science assignments, we can involve these children. We can also assign them the task of drawing the cover page or designing the cover page. Even such activities, they contribute pretty well. Using clay or Play-Doh to make objects or represent concepts from content area lessons. Using pictorial models such as flowcharts, visual maps, Venn diagrams, and timelines to connect new material to known information. So such activities make them the class interesting. And in continuation of that, taking notes using concept mapping, mind mapping, clustering, using puppets to act out and reinforce concepts learned in the class, using maps to study geographical locations discussed in class, illustrating poems for the class poetry book by drawing or using computer software, and using virtual reality system software. These are some of the activities. Now, friends, if we have to teach a poem on kite, instead of making the child understand, instead of us teaching within the four walls of the classroom, take them out to the ground, allow them to fly a kite. Yes, we will consume one additional period, but the children will just love it. As an English teacher, have used multiple intelligences so much that, probably for every lesson I can come up with some kind of an idea. I also remember a particular batch, a poem on kite, was enacted by the two students. It was a comparison between a bigger kite and a smaller kite, and two students of different physics size. They were brought onto the stage. They did hold two different kites of different sizes, and then it was a kind of demonstration of the poetry. So these activities are definitely liked by the students of visual intelligence. Coming to the next one, bodily kinesthetic intelligence. Now the students who have this kind of intelligence exhibit the following traits. They have highly developed coordination, balance, dexterity, strength, speed, and flexibility. Uh, some of the students are always there in all the dance numbers. Yoga, they're there. They're very good at their sports because they're blessed with this intelligence. And they have expertise in using the entire body to relate thoughts and feelings. Simple things, friends. Some of the students come to you seeking permission to use the restroom. Some of them stand in a very rigid way, but some of them are always moving their body. They're trying to dance. Body movement is a part of every act of theirs. It is sometimes we wonder, why is a child so restless? Why the child cannot sit in one particular place? Why is he or she always hovering around the classroom? It is not the child's fault, or it is not that child is trying to misbehave. The child is born with kinesthetic intelligence, and they find it very difficult to be seated in a place for too long a time. So the moment we understand all these things, it helps us in classroom management also. What do we do? Allot such activities for students of this intelligence so that they're engaged using their body parts, using the kinesthetic intelligence. They also have an ability to manipulate objects skillfully using both fine and gross motor movements. Some students are very good in cube rubrics, right? So football players, gymnasts, yoga practitioners, and the list goes on. What can be done? How do we integrate MI based on kinesthetic intelligence? All types of hands-on activities where they can feel and touch and manipulate objects are a good example. Science experiments, gardening, participating in dramas, role plays, and dancing. These are all the ways of integrating this intelligence. Again, physical activities like climbing, rolling, jumping, crawling, etc. Sports related activities, outdoor activities that involve physical stimulus, climbing a hill, hikes, walks in the forest, etc. Of course, this is not possible in a classroom scenario, but when we take them for school picnics, we can decide a destination which has scope for all these activities. And then the activities that require them to move in a large physical space, scavenger hunts, these activities definitely make the learning experience interesting. Moving on to the next type of intelligence, musical or rhythmic intelligence. The children who exhibit this kind of intelligence have the following traits. They're music smart, as simple as a poem taught just as a poem, they may not appreciate it. If the teacher is able to set a tune for that, and if she's able to sing for the child, they register it better, they remember it better. So such students are said to be music smart. They think, feel, and process the information primarily through sound. And they have a superior ability to perceive, compose, and or perform music, and constantly hear musical notes in their head. You will see some children always humming in the classroom, and sometimes they will be nodding to themselves, sometimes they will be swaying to themselves. Again, friends, it is not a kind of misbehavior. It is the child is blessed with musical intelligence, and they're trying to correlate all the activities with their intelligence. Okay, now what kind of activities can be integrated in the classroom? Allow them to write their own songs and allow them to set a tune for that based on the content area topics. As I told you, water cycle can be taught in the form of a beautiful song. Likewise, allow the children, give them a topic, allow them to compose, set a tune, and allow them to perform. It's a beautiful activity. It breaks the monotony of the classroom as well. Putting original poems to music and then performing them in the class. Setting a poem to music and then performing it for the class. Incorporating a poem they have written with a melody they already know, to a tune which they're already familiar with. Then listening to music from different historical periods. Music has got a long journey in our country. Music is an integral part of our system. It is a part of our culture and tradition. So allow the children to listen to music from different periods, give them a platform to perform them, and also different styles of music. India, that way, is culturally very rich country. So allow them to experiment with different genre of music. Then tape recording a poem over appropriate background music. That is a wonderful activity. Using rhythm and clapping to memorize math facts and other content area information. When we tell the children to memorize tables, especially lower classes, in a sing-song tone, they keep telling, right? Two ones are two, two twos are four. This is also a way of integrating music with mathematics to teach tables. Listening to CDs that teach concepts like alphabet, parts of speech, and states and capitals. So everything comes to them in the form of music. And well, now there is no dearth of audiovisual aids. We have so many CDs which cater to these kind of activity requirements. Moving on to the next intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence. Now, children who exhibit this intelligence are self-smart. They have a deep awareness of their feelings, ideas, and goals. They take time to, and they need time to be alone to process and create. Now, some of the students, generally, they don't mingle with anybody. They are happy by themselves. We wonder, why is this child aloof? Is this child underconfident? No, they are not underconfident. That is the way the child is born. He or she is more happy to be with their own selves, right? But they have a very good clarity about their likes and dislikes. They also know their strengths and weaknesses. They can do their introspection very well. This is the strength of these children. Now, for such children, what are the activities we can do? Um, Self-expression activities like writing your own experiences and your suggestions towards a school, or probably ask a child, ask the students to write a report on how best his previous experience has helped him to get over certain challenges in life, and occasionally bring them to the front stage and ask them to talk about their own experiences. So such activities will certainly help them. When we say self-assessment, the children who are who have intrapersonal skills, they are very good at self-assessment activities. Now coming to interpersonal intelligence, friends, you also agree with me when I say some students become heroes or Superman very quickly in the school. They're very popular among their peers. They become popular among their juniors, and they become very good friends, buddies for their seniors. And they also become very good favorites of their teachers. What is the secret? The secret is they're people smart. They're very good at their people skills. They have a natural ability to interact with, relate to, and get along with others effectively. They're very good listeners. They use their insights about others to negotiate, persuade, and obtain information. They like to interact with others and usually have lots of friends. Any task you want to give them, collection of material or gathering of information, they say, ma'am, I will be the first one to do. They will be the first one to raise a hand and take up responsibility. They're very fond of mixing with people and interacting with people. And it goes without saying, most of the time it is such students who are chosen for leadership posts, the student council, the house captains, the vice captains, or the head boy or head girl posts, because leadership, skills are very much proportionate to interpersonal skills. What kind of activities can be integrated in the classroom for such students? Writing reflective papers on content area topics, writing a literary autobiography reflecting on their reading life, writing goals for the future and planning ways to achieve them, keeping journals or logs throughout the year, making a scrapbook for their poems, papers, and reflections. Well, this set of activities hold very good for intrapersonal intelligence students as well. And for interpersonal intelligence, working in cooperative groups, group activities are a hit with such students. They like to design, they like to complete project. Automatically, they will take leadership in guiding the team, in navigating the team. They love to work in pairs to learn maths and to teach maths also. Interviewing people with knowledge about content area topics, tutoring younger students of classmates, that is a brilliant activity. I'm sure this is one of the pedagogies proposed in the NEP. Even the infographics has made a mention of it. Peer tutoring, we call it buddy teacher system, buddy student system. uh, Classmates, they try to help each other. If a child's mathematical skill is strong, he or she will try to assist a child who needs some kind of a special time to make him understand the numerical concepts. So this buddy student system works very well with these kind of students. Using puppets to put on a puppet show, so anything which needs coordination with the team, with the group, they are very good at such activities. Now comes naturalistic intelligence traits. Let me tell you, friends, I started my teaching career 21 years ago. And I used to get, as a young teacher, I used to get very irritated when I used to see students who are not attentive to what the teacher teaches, but they're busy looking out of the window. They're trying to observe how the tree is swaying. They're trying to spot a butterfly in the garden. I'm like, come on, child, pay attention to what I'm saying. Only when I learned about multiple intelligences did I realize that such children are blessed with naturalistic intelligence. Those children are nature smart, they enjoy being in nature, and they want to protect it from pollution. Anytime you ask them to draw, they're more happy to draw and color a beautiful scene, a beautiful scenario, scene of a park probably, or of a forest. They always try to connect themselves with the aspects of nature. They're very fond of uh, the river drawing, or probably the green trees. And anytime you want to give them a project, they come out with something which is closely connected with the nature. So these are the traits of such students. And easily recognize and categorize plants, animals, and rocks. They always have an affinity towards the lessons which have something closer to nature. And they connect with the nature and also the elements of nature. When you take them out for school picnic and all, they will enjoy maximum looking at the trees around them, looking at the birds around them. An insect which might become an insignificant object for us might become something of great interest for these students. Now, what are the kind of activities we can design to make the classes interesting for such students? Caring for classroom plants. Some of the schools have this concept of having a small classroom garden, like how we have in my school. We encourage the students to have an indoor plant so that they are taught how to care for a plant. So they're very happy to do such activities. Sorting and classifying natural objects such as leaves and rocks, and you give them projects or portfolio preparation based on the leaves collection or the rocks collection. They're very fascinated doing these activities. And researching animal habitats, that is their favorite hobby. And observing natural surroundings. They're very fond of listening to the chirping sound of the birds. Okay, and then they're very happy when there is rain happening, when the noise of the droplets, the water droplets falling on the ground. Simple things like this fascinate these children. So involve them in activities which will bring them closer to nature. Organizing, participating in park or playground cleanups, recycling drives, and beautification projects. I'm sure most of the schools have a nature club, like how we have, or we call it in different terms. We have environment, we call it environment club or eco club, or probably nature club. So make these children a part of such club activities and they will do an amazing job. Garden is their favorite area to do the work. Flowering plants, observe them and water them and tell us about the activities. They will be highly fascinated to do such activities. Now, I would like to share a few experiences which are based on my idea of integrating multiple intelligences in the classroom. I have shared the slides based on the general information. Now I would like to personalize it. I believe a child is with us during the formative years of his or her life.
Sure.
It is our prime responsibility to mold a child in the right way. In this direction, identifying the kind of intelligence the child possesses it is extremely important so as to nurture and strengthen it. Here, I would like to pause and share a small story. Last year, we hosted our first annual day. The theme of the annual day was the saga of nature, the journey of Mother Earth, how she used to be once upon a time, and what happened over a period of time, and how the earth is damaged, how the environment is getting damaged, and what has to be done from our end to save this earth. It was 3 hours of dance drama, which was conceptualized by the school. And during the course of event, I realized so many student skills, you know. And there was one particular child is from grade 5. Always she used to look so gloomy. She was not very good in her academics, and probably somewhere that had affected her confidence level. She had developed some kind of a complex. And uh, unfortunately, slightly darker complexion. So probably she had faced a lot of uh, talks, remarks, negative remarks about her complexion. So child used to feel, I am not good at academics and I am not good looking. She had withdrawn into a shell. And during the rehearsals, I would always go to her and tell her, baby, smile. You look very pretty when you smile. I adore you when you smile. And then she wouldn't do it. After repeated coaxing, one fine day she opened up, Sujata ma'am, I don't look nice when I smile because I'm very dark. I said, baby, what has darkness to do with beauty? They're two different things. Come on, look at your skills. You're such a good dancer. Look at your expressions. You're so good at your moves. Come on. And I try to give her a lot of importance. And friends, believe me, by the end of 6 months of training, she blossomed into a beautiful child. Uh, Not in terms of looks, I'm telling, beautiful child in terms of talent. And somewhere it helped her to overcome her inhibitions. It helped her to gain confidence. And surprisingly, her performance in the academics also started improving. So when we focus on the intelligence of the child, whether it is kinesthetic, it is musical, it is linguistic, or it is logical, and we try to give a platform for the child to grow, definitely that confidence level will help the child to do well in the other aspects of life also. This is just one example. I can quote a lot of such examples from the student's perspective, and from the teacher's perspective. I am a very animated person, so for everything I used to bring in some object. Well, let me tell you, a teacher is the best teaching aid. Nobody can substitute a teacher. So if you can use your own pedagogy to reach out to children with multiple intelligences, nothing like it. Uh, Now, simple thing, I remember grade 6 had a poem on statue. Now, how do you introduce a statue? I brought a beautiful statue, kept it before the students. Uh, Now, I told him just observe the statue for 5 minutes and then I am going to pose questions. You have to come out with your responses. Now, what are the intelligences which are involved here? Visual intelligences, spatial intelligences, then kinesthetic, because children are, some of them were who were keen in observing the statue closely. Permission was given to them. Kinesthetic intelligence is involved there, and linguistic intelligence, because a child is given an opportunity to express his or her reflection on the statue. Then interpersonal, for some time group discussion was also allowed. Come on, this is your perspective, what do you think is a perspective of your friend? So some kind of a peer interaction was also allowed. And intrapersonal, okay, do you relate this statue with any of your own experiences? So intrapersonal intelligence, that was also attempted. Now, how is it going to affect mathematical numeracy skilled students? Tell the child what kind of pattern do you observe on this statue? Is there any specific way of line which is drawn on the face or on the other part of the body? So with the teaching aid of one statue, you're able to create activities which cater to the intelligence of all different aspects. It is definitely workable. Likewise, if we try to think a little bit, even in our assessments, especially CBSE gives us a lot of flexibility. When it comes to internal assessment, we can bring in a variety of things, a combination of things. And friends, let me tell you, even in the virtual platform, integrating MI-based activities for teaching, learning, and assessment is also possible. Sometimes I feel it is giving us more scope. Um, because a lot of students who would shy away in the conventional school scenario, surprisingly, they're opening up beautifully in the virtual scenario. One is we are compelled to use a lot of videos. It is audio visual aid, which caters to the requirement of visually intelligent students and also musically intelligent students. So that is bringing in a lot of impact. Also, we are giving projects or activities for students where they can record their videos and post it to the teachers. We have in our school, we use Microsoft Teams as a platform to conduct digital classes. We have a Flipgrid feature. So students are permitted to record their projects and post it to the teachers. They create a classroom group and it reaches there. Brilliant. It is amazing to see the children coming out with that creative ideas. And I'm like, wow, where was their talent hidden all this while? So some of us who think virtual classes have a limitation, I think otherwise. Now, as I come to the end of my presentation, dear all, whatever I have spoken is not abstract idea. It is not that I have gathered it from some research journals or some online as a resource material. It is purely based on what I have gathered through my own experiences as a teacher, as an academician. So I would like to use a beautiful quote by Howard Gardner again. Anything that is worth teaching can be presented in many different ways. And these multiple ways can make use of our multiple intelligences. So multiple intelligences can be a part of our pedagogy so that we reach out to the students with multiple intelligences. Example, a poem. In multiple ways it can be taught, right? In our school, mathematics department conducts an activity every year. Department wise we conduct activity. They bring in Rangoli competition because it is based on logical thinking. They bring in doodle competition, doodle making competition. So if you want to be creative, if you want to be innovative, dear friends, sky is the limit. And the more and more we explore, the more and more children will benefit. I think that is the best contribution me and you as an educator can give to the society. And this is the best way to hone the skills of the students in which they are good at, and thereby we also help them in building their competences. So wish you all the best. I'm sure I have been able to bring in my experiences today and share it with you all in an effective manner. It does take some of our research time. Yes, it does involve hard work. It does involve the right choice of pedagogy and some wise decisions too. But if we sum up all together, my dear friends, there is no second thought about achieving success in being an effective educator. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sujata. And it has indeed been a very, very insightful presentation. And I think, you've taken us from verbal intelligences to the naturalistic intelligences and beautifully shared very nice anecdotes of, what you have experienced and how we can harness each one of these in the children. Some children may have more of one and less of the other, but still I would say none of them would be at a zero on any of the intelligences. So it's for us as educators to really harness each of these and give them opportunities which will help them flourish and try. And in fact, I very much agree with you that the online mode of education, wherein initially all of us educators, I'm sure in this session, had our own hesitations about how fruitful would it be a disconnect? No, but with the kind of projects the children are submitting, I think being in the comfort of their homes with the guidance and with the multiple opportunities, and the moment we say you do it your way, the beautiful different creative ways in which they are coming forward, it is absolutely awesome, I would say. So I think we are getting lovely comments here in our chat box, and if there's any participant who would like to have a query answered, you have something to share, please do mention that in the chat box, and we'd be very, very happy to take it up with Dr. Girish. So I think we're just getting lovely feedback there for the moment. So I think really, really, it was a wonderful session. I think one of the participants did want to see some of your slides once more. I think
Sure.
It's slide 29 to 31 that they requested for.
Definitely, ma'am. I shall share my presentation again.
In the meanwhile, for those of you who are here with us, we are also sharing in the chat box the link for your feedback, as well as the attendance, as well as the certificate for all of you. So please do fill in that form very, very carefully.
Any specific slide number, Preeti ma'am?
I think 29 to 31 is what I remember seeing.
Sure.
We have posted the link for the attendance again. Request all participants to please fill this feedback form.
I shall move to the next slide after a couple of seconds so that they can take the screenshot.
They're requesting for a session for commerce teachers. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. We can definitely try it out. I'm from language background, so automatically I recall my experiences as an English teacher. But certainly, we can connect it to all the streams. That is number one.
Absolutely.
And number two, ma'am, kinesthetic itself is a vast area. There can be one exclusive webinar on how to integrate kinesthetic intelligence in the classrooms. maximum scope is there to integrate kinesthetic intelligence. I wanted to
Wonderful.
give.
We definitely explore that. Yes.
I
Ma'am, we have
wanted
not
to.
received the link, ma'am.
Sure, we
Link is,
are posting it. Thank you so much. We are reposting the same.
ma'am, we have not received the link, ma'am. Can you please share it again?
It's just been posted again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and being with us this afternoon. I think it has been a very, very wonderful, very insightful session.
Sorry to
and
disturb you, ma'am.
yes.
The link is not visible.
Able to get the link, ma'am.
It's not
We are just
received on the
posting it.
chat
Those
box.
of you who have filled the link can please leave in case they do not have any queries. And for those of you who are still staying on, we are very much here. We are posting the link.
Ma'am, kindly share the link, ma'am. Link.
Yes, we are doing that.
Ma'am, you did not share the link.
Yeah, post.
We have not received it.
Not getting it, link, ma'am.
Ma'am, we have not received the link in the chat box.
There is no link in the chat box, ma'am.
Yes, Mary. I know you have, but if you could share.
We have not received.
It's disabled, ma'am.
Before we conclude,
yes,
I would like to decode my formula for parts of speech. A square, P square, wink. And when I used to say wink, I would wink my eyes. That is how children, imitated Sujata ma'am, and they always remembered. A square stands for adjectives, adverbs. P square stands for pronouns. And can anybody add on to me? Let me check.
Preposition.
Wonderful.
Prepositions.
Yeah. P stands for
Prepositions.
V stands for
Verbs.
brilliant. I stands for
Interjection.
great. N stands for
Nouns.
Noun.
wonderful. C stands for
Conjunction.
so it always used to be A square, P square, wink, and there I would close my eyes. So that is how children remembered. And even while teaching mathematics, fractions, if you're teaching numerator, then thumbs up, denominator, thumbs down. So these kind of, use of hand gestures make it easy for the students to remember. And conversion of direct speech to indirect speech and vice versa. Somewhere comma gets added on and somewhere comma gets eliminated. Then I would always tell the students, what happens? Zoom, it gets disappeared. That would always make the children with kinesthetic intelligence and visual intelligence very fascinating. So these are some of the tips I can share. And it is applicable to other subjects as well. I'm just using a few anecdotes of my own experiences. In my school, we advocate majority of the teachers across all the grades to use a lot of activities like this, because most of the students have an affinity towards kinesthetic intelligence and visual intelligence. So they absorb it better when the teachers are very demonstrative and animated. Thank you. I felt there shouldn't be any suspense in the session, so I wanted to explain it to the
Thank you
audience.
so much. Thank you, Dr. Girish. And really, really lovely to have you here and lovely to have all the participants with us. And on behalf of Manila Ma'am, Chairperson, Bangalore Sahodaya Schools Complex, I thank you profusely for being with us this afternoon and taking us through this lovely presentation. And we're hoping to catch up with you again on some other lovely topic.
Sure. The pleasure is mine, ma'am. And I thank Manila ma'am sincerely